Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're out here in the shop working on the Pontiac 6000 wagon, and I figured what better thing to do than show you guys how to make coilovers for it. So right here we got our new strut, we got our upper strut mount, we have a coilover kit for a Honda Civic, and we have a 12-inch spring. I don't remember what the spring rate is on that, but let me show you how this all goes back together. I'm pretty sure this will work on any, front-wheel drive GM vehicle. This is also how the coilovers are in the back of my Fieros.
How neat is that?
So let's show you how it's done. If you want to build a coilover, you're better off to do it new parts. So what we have is a bunch of new parts.
That looks like what you would buy from a store.
Let's open the box. All right, so here we have a brand new strut for my wagon. This is a similar strut to anything, I think, A-body. Fieros use an A-body style setup in the back. The only difference between a Fiero and this station wagon is the station wagon turns because it's the front. The Fiero, it's kind of held stationary, obviously, because it doesn't have four-wheel steering. So then what you do is you get on eBay and you get yourself like a cheap coilover kit for like a Honda Civic or whatever. And that's what this is. I already put the one side together, so that's why there's only one of everything. So with this, for the longest time in the Fiero world, there were guys that were just using these, trying not to drop them, and they were putting them on, and they were using this little spring. I don't like that. I like, softer ride, more spring travel. So this spring goes over there. Apparently it hits the go-kart. Well, you need to put this on the strut. As you see, that doesn't fit. And we want this collared sleeve to fit all the way down here at the bottom, where the body bolts onto the knuckle for the strut. So in order to do that, there's this little top ring here. It's got to come off, which it's just spot welded. And then there is the spring perch for the giant spring. A couple spot welds here, and then this is welded all the way around. So basically we're going to take our die grinder, and we're going to cut this weld, being careful not to put too much heat into this strut, which shouldn't be too bad because it's freaking cold today, and you don't want to go all the way through and puncture this. Want to cut this off slowly, knock this top ring off so we can get this to slide down over the strut. And then for this car, I went with a 12-inch spring, which after putting the other side together, I think may be too long. Especially if you want to go really low. Like I want to be slightly below ride height. I don't need it to be super slammed, because I want to be able to drive it and not have any issues. So I picked these up, need a trash can, on eBay, used, I believe, new parts.
New parts.
What's this say? It's a 2.5-inch spring. What is it, 200 pound? I don't know, it's supposed to be a 12-inch spring. Looks slightly longer than 12 inches. Let's find a tape measure. It's a 14-inch spring. So that's why it's too long.
That's pretty neat.
So typical me, order the wrong stuff. We're still gonna put this together and we're gonna see how it looks. You can use a 10-inch spring. You can use a 12-inch spring. I wouldn't use a 14 because it's probably too long. But it's what we have and it's what we're going to put together because I can change those out later. It's not too big of a deal. So let's get this strut mounted over in the vise, get our die grinder ready to go. We'll get that top ring off, and then we'll get the spring perch off, put this thing together, and put it in the car. Oh, this coilover, it comes with this top hat piece too, and you can see that hole's pretty small. So you'll want to use a little step of it so it'll slide over the strut, because you're going to want this isolator on top of the spring. Kind of keeps it quiet. Yeah, so let's cut this spring perch off. Alright, so we're set up in the vise. First thing I'm going to do is knock this end cap piece off. Really not sure what it's for. It's not needed for this application. There's 1, 2, 3 little arms that I believe are tack welded on. We're just going to get a hammer to punch, knock those 3 off. This should pop right off. Right, and here you have it. Piece is off. So now this slides over. So now we got to take this off, which is the spring perch. So we're just going to grind on this weld here until we can knock this piece off. And this will slide all the way down. We can put our spring on. We can put our little top perch piece on. Then we can put our upper mount on. Then we're good to go. Okay, so once you start grinding, you can see, you can hit it with a hammer. You can see the weld is broken. So you just got to get the rest of the way around, and then this will come all the way off. Then we can smooth this up, hit it with some paint. We'll be ready to assemble. Let me get the rest of the way off of there and show you. Alright, and then once you get your pile of metal on the floor and smooth it out where it was welded on, you end up with a shock strut that looks like that. And then this slides all the way down. So now we'll clean this up and we'll paint it, put it together. We'll have a assembled coilover strut. Alright, one other thing we have to do is make this hole bigger on this spring pad, isolator, cap, whatever you want to call it. So I got my step bit here. We're just going to send it.
I'm still gonna send it.
Okay, now let's make sure it actually fits, which it does. So now we can put this together. There you have it, fully assembled strut. Now we just got to get it on the car and then get the car on the ground and see what it looks like. Definitely going to need to order some 12-inch springs, I think. But let's get it on the car and see what it looks like. All right, passenger side's all back together. Got to tighten the control arm bolts, but I can do that once it's on the ground. Now we just got to put the wheel on it and put it on the ground and see what it looks like. And here's how it looks sitting outside.
Dear God, it's beautiful.
That is with the coilovers in the front at the lowest setting, so you can see those 14-inch springs are a little too long. I'm gonna get some 12-inch springs for the front, and I gotta push this thing back in there.
Holy shnikey.
But now we can get it on the lift, do the wiring, and the exhaust, and the fuel, and then we'll be good. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys when we start doing more stuff on this. Take it easy.